already on. Welcome to another episode of Exploring Happiness, where we talk about freedom, lifestyle, alternative living, and happiness. And we're so excited to be back. We got some awesome questions for you. Jens, you want to read that? We asked the question on the social media platforms. What your biggest what
What was your biggest concerns
when it comes to opening up or go online or earn money online? That was our question. And then we got a perfectly question from
Scott Jarman, our old friend from who we met in Bali.
Don't call him old.
He's not old.
We just know him for a long time.
Closer to 60 than 50. I didn't say that. Scott wrote, "Loving your van life posts and travel, Jens and Niki. What do you think were the hardest lessons that you have learned that help you succeed in making money as a nomad? What failures did you learn from?" So on that note,
We
that's
have
a
so
lot.
many.
We thought we would share with you 5 very, very important lessons or mistakes, or call it what you want, that we have learned since the beginning.
Is it also okay to say things that's still holding you back?
It's very okay. Things that are still troubling us to this day. Should I start?
I think you are the handsome one, so.
I think the first one, and hang on, just want to say the biggest one we'll of course come to in the end, because a hook is needed. You need to stay here and listen to the end, because it's a really, really big one.
Sorry, that was a fly.
She says that all the time, and then she slaps me right in the face. The first one is not respecting the audience size you have. Even if you only have, say, 20 or 50 or 100 people who follow you on a regular basis on different social media channels, or are subscribed to your newsletter, or whatever way or form they are listening to you, you tend to think that you need thousands and thousands of people following you before you can actually before you can start offering something or doing something. But it's a big mistake, because just imagine if you sat in a room and there were 50 people right in front of you, how much more serious you would take what you do just by knowing that they were there physically. And that is the same way you have to look at your, put this closer, that's the same way you have to look at your online audience. Don't treat them like, oh, that's just 20 random people. Treat them as though they are there right in front of you, and speak to them as if they are there right in front of you.
I read somewhere sometimes that you have to treat your audience like your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You would never, if he writes you or something like that, you would never wait 3 or 4 days before you actually answer back to your boyfriend, and he would be angry and maybe also leave you if you leave him hanging for a week. So treat your customers or your fans, or even, because where you're gonna find your audience in the first place is on the list you have, like the friends you already have found around the world, maybe. So really take care of them as they are your closest friend or your boyfriend. Don't leave them hanging.
Never leave them hanging. Always give them, and just, we've made that mistake over and over again, and we keep making that mistake. Actually, it's not something that was once. We still do it. We still, even though maybe there's only 5 people live on the podcast listening to us right now talking, there's actually no one, but people are gonna listen to it later on. Is there someone?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Take it seriously. Someone is actually taking their time to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
So you better make sure that you do talk to them.
I think we get hung up on numbers, because when we see, I just have 118 followers on Instagram, we see the number as small, because I don't know, I think it's something in our brain, we think it's a small number, but when we have that 118 people in front of us, I would pee in my pants. I would not go up there and like. If I remember when I was a waitress and just starting out, and my boss said to me, "Now it's your first time. You have to go in and present the menu for the guests." And I'm like, "How many are there?" They have 50 in there. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And she just pushed me in. But there's so many eyes looking at you, and it's actually, even though you can't see them directly in the eyes, they are there. They need your attention, and it's something I definitely did wrong in my first company. I didn't take enough care of my audience.
Awesome. You have the
I have
next
so many.
next big mistake.
Ooh, for me, it's about being perfect. I mentioned a little bit yesterday. Oh God, I tend to want everything to be perfect before I launch things. I go online. I want to make sure I have the right logo, the right colors, and I want to make sure I have, I'm saying the right things, that I write the right things. So it's just can take over, and it takes me too long time to actually put something out there. And the biggest mistake in being perfect is that I'm getting away from what's actually meaningful, or actually the purpose of my business, which is serving another human being. And if somebody, for instance, I've been a happiness coach for many years, and if a client has problems with getting stuck or not feeling confident or anyways, she doesn't care about my logo. She just wants help here and now. So that is one of the biggest hurdles I'm dealing with, is my perfectionism.
Perfectionism. Yeah, I'm lucky I don't suffer from that problem. I'm so happy I don't suffer from that problem.
Yeah, you have seen how much stuck I'm getting in that.
She gets completely stuck from...
Fuck that.
Sorry. And it can be small, silly things that in my world, how can you even care about that?
But it has to be perfect.
It has to be perfect.
That just has to sit in the right place. Please make my logo bigger. Or if the E in Exploring Happiness was smaller and bigger, would that make a difference?
Yeah.
No.
And even our Danish accents can be an issue.
Don't
like,
oh
my God, that silly Danish accent, and then you stumble over a word or something.
It's really good.
It's really, really good, as our friend Ollie always laughs at. Because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
If someone's listening and they enjoy or can use or get something out of what you're saying, then why should it matter that you have a Danish accent or that you don't know the technical term for something to put into a machine of some sort that you will never use? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
pointless.
matter.
Just explain it in a different way with your own words.
Yeah, because that has been a hurdle for me as well, because I never felt that my English was good enough, because I learned it so late in life. And so that is always my question: should I do it in Danish or should I do it in English? But I want to reach so many people, and what I like about this Exploring Happiness collective we have is like we are connecting people from all over the world, and I feel like creating a melting pot of people creates diversity, and we can see things from different perspectives. But I went on another road here.
Different path. But it's okay. Should I go with the next one?
Yeah, you're the next one, yeah.
I got the next one. I just check my notes, because who cares?
Yes, notes. That's a big step.
Yeah, and this can be a bit tricky one, because it's the money issue. Asking people for money, meaning not asking people for money or begging, but actually having an open door for someone to buy your product or your service or whatever it is. I think
turning your passion and skill into
money.
Well,
having the pride in what you do to say it's actually worth something can be really, really hard for many people, including for us.
If you can relate to that, please comment.
Yeah, if you can relate to how hard it is to put a price on yourself or the work that you do. Could be when I do leatherworking. It could be when Niki does some jewelry. It can also be say.
I think the worst thing was the coaching.
Yeah, well, we offer coaching, and putting a price on how much money would you charge for that service of
Mm.
of giving you guys, for example, if giving someone a 90-minute coaching session, what is that even worth?
Yeah.
What's it worth to us? What's
What
it
worth
worth
to
to
the
them?
person?
And having, being strong enough inside to say this is how much
Yeah.
it's worth.
I think men are better than women to ask for money. But if you want another podcast on that one, because I think it's a juicy one.
It's
Jens.
a really juicy
Yeah.
subject, and if you would like a full podcast just on that, on putting
Making the money.
yeah, well, how much worth do I put on myself and my skills? Yeah, then type that down below in the comments. You could write would absolutely love a podcast
Or
about.
just put a money icon or
Oh
GIF.
yeah, dollar GIF.
I love gifts.
GIFs are good.
Yeah, Christian knows all about that. Is it me?
I think Nikki, you are the next one.
I'm not good enough. Oh my god, my inner critic has been holding me back for years. I have wanted I don't even want to say it, but for 5 years now I wanted to create a membership for women from all over the world where we come together and just who wants to live alternative and live in alignment with the earth. And I'm so like my brain just goes nuts here. My inner critic goes nuts. I'm not good enough. I'm not an expert. I don't have anything to say. It's already out there. Who wants to listen to me? I need one more. I need a little more education. Maybe I should study that. Or if I just do a yoga teacher training, then I will be better equipped for this. So my inner critic, not feeling confident enough, not feeling good enough, has been holding myself back and crying on the floor like a badass motherfucker. I tell you. I think that has been one of my biggest hurdles, and is my biggest hurdles because I didn't launch it yet.
Still a biggest hurdle. Talking about that membership non-stop, but just never getting it open or started, or
because for me, for example, with the graphic design and everything, Brooke hired me to help her in her company, and she praised me. She gave me a lot of compliments, and she thought I was best graphic designer ever. And I hope she didn't only say it because I was her friend, but I hope she also said it because she really meant it, and I know she did. But it helped me to get over my critical mind. But doing something now that actually I'm really, really, really passionate about, that I love, and it's like bringing sisters together and grow and heal. This little bitch in my mind is killing me. What are you doing, Jens?
digesting.
Okay. Yeah, so that is something that's been holding me back, and that is actually bringing me to the last point we want to talk about, isn't it? Because because how do you get over that? Because you can't just because I can sit and spin and spin and spin for months about the same thing. Should it be like you don't even want to go down that lane with me? So I think one thing that is really necessary. Should I say it now or what? Is that the last point?
It's the big one. The biggest one.
Because you need somebody who supports you. Because one thing is that you are battling with your own critic in your mind, the little bitch, I call it. Another thing, if you then have family and friends that are not supporting you, that is just not healthy if you want to create a freedom lifestyle, if you want to create a business online, if you want to do something different. What are you showing me?
We need to say the actual thing, the actual problem. Not getting started at all.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'm out of context now.
Yeah, you went a step ahead, I think.
No.
It's all good. It's not perfect.
Yeah, but what do you mean with what you just said?
That is the absolute biggest mistake you can make ever. Is not getting started. Not beginning.
Yeah, it's not getting started. Waiting too long. I've been waiting for 5 years. Just imagine what would have happened if I started my sisterhood membership 5 years ago. I would have a thriving business. Or what would have happened, if you have started on some of your stuff. So don't wait another day on get started. And that's why I don't think I had a step ahead of me. It's just like you need support to do that if you don't have that, because your inner critic that stops you from getting started can get too big, and you need somebody else there to support you along the way, because we didn't have that support net, or I didn't have in the beginning. And so we had each other, and then when we were traveling, like, people were just, every time we said we had this and this idea, people was like, "Oh, that's awesome, man, do it," right?
Yep.
We got
Everyone
so
is
much
very
support, and that is
supportive.
something we always do if somebody comes with an idea to us, like, "Oh yeah, man, do it, find a plan and do it," or call us, we will make a plan for you, like Anna, for example. Boy, I'm not talking too much about Anna.
It's because she's fresh in your mind. Yeah, so it's really important to not let all those other mistakes stop you from actually getting started, because getting started is the biggest mistake. I mean, not getting started is the biggest mistake you can make at all.
Yeah.
So for support system, for that whole thing, find somewhere, find a tribe, find a group,
Somebody who believes in
find
you.
someone. It could be our own. We have the Exploring Happiness Collective group on Facebook. You can join that, and we're there, and other people are there, and we'd love to support.
Yeah.
This is also being streamed on the group, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. So if you're already in there, don't be scared to write some of your struggles, write your hurdles, write your
Everything that's going on.
questions.
There's nothing. Please don't keep it for yourself. Like, tell somebody what you're frustrated about, but tell it to somebody who will support you, because I promise you, we all have the same fears. Again, like when I talked to Anna, she thought she didn't have anything to teach, and I'm like, well, I learned so much from you, just even though I don't have any kids. But I'm prepared to have one, because she read so many books. She learned so many things. We don't, Jens, I think you said that the best. We don't only have knowledge from school. Like, tell the thing with the books. Please tell the thing with the books.
I don't know what thing with the books. But you don't have you. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, how do you learn in school? Typically from reading books.
And
how
like boring
and
teacher.
also teachers. But how many books have you read since you've left school that you have gotten knowledge
that
from?
You're passionate
that
about.
that you actually wanted to read and that you can share from?
Yeah.
A lot, probably. Chances are there's quite a few.
So that is how we get knowledge. Just because we don't educated ourselves in a university or in school doesn't mean that it's less worth, just when you have read a book or seen YouTube videos, or you had a grandpa who told you really knowledgeable things.
A university education is not worth more than a book you read in the library. The same book gives you the same knowledge. So just because someone stamped the paper and says you're good at it doesn't mean that someone who didn't get the paper stamped isn't even better at it.
I will also say, for example, I have a friend, Anna-Katrine, and her parents was just, I think she told me that they were really good in the garden, like planting things, knowing what all the plants are, what you can eat and not eat. And she's phenomenal at cooking now and using plants from her garden and from nature itself, with nature garden. And this knowledge is just something she has in herself. She was taught from her parents, but not something she went to school to learn. And she could teach people about this, even though it's not, she doesn't have a paper on it. What is Tor saying?
Tor just said, nice to see you live. Nice to see you too,
We're looking forward to game night,
We're
Tor.
coming soon, Tor, and I'm going to beat you in Uno so badly. You won't believe it. It's going to be dangerous. Another, just to add on to that, is also where you are in life. Even though there's people who's way ahead of you, there's still people way behind you. There's still so much that you can teach from where you are at.
Yeah.
And
So
don't let that stop you either.
You just need to be one chapter ahead, I read somewhere.
Yeah. So in the comments, he says, can't wait. Gonna be a
good one.
Yeah, it's like a day in the park. So if you, share with us, write in the comments, what is like the one thing that stops you from getting started? Like what's holding you back? Why are you not already doing it? Yeah, and let's debunk it. We love debunking stuff like that, and we can do that.
Such a good word.
If you're fast, we can debunk it now. If you are writing it later on and not live, then we'll debunk it in another podcast. It's the best.
We should have a debunking podcast
We can do like debunking debunking Friday and just have a Friday podcast where we just debunk questions.
Because that's again Anna. We did that with her. She has she had the little bitch inside of her saying, no, I'm not good enough and all that stuff, and we explained, we just said that is not true. We acknowledged that she has those fears because we have them, but then we told her why they are not real.
So make sure that you find a tribe and a group that can help you getting rid of all those
Say you are
fears.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You are, and there was nothing more.
There was nothing more.
It was the end. Recap.
we have notes. Let's be honest. We're not good at this yet. It's the first few times we're doing it, so we have notes. And
so okay. I hope we answered Scott's questions here, but yeah, I think the biggest one takeaway from here: get started today. No matter what it is, write one little step down you can start on today towards your dream. If it's just like making money online, or do you want to live in a van, or do you want to surf?
Do you want to have a permaculture farm in the mountains in Portugal, or do you want to be get a little fisherman's boat and just
stay home with your kids?
Yeah, stay home with your kids, have more time with the kids, learn how to invest, do something like that. If you want more advice on investing, it could also be a thing you want to learn about, and we could do a podcast about. We have a very good neighbor who would love to help.
Sir Germans.
So to recap, my first thing was, respect your audience size. Don't think that just because you only got 5 followers or 10 followers or 100, that should be limiting you from getting started. Because if they were sitting right in front of you, how seriously would you take it?
Stop being perfect. Start and be messy. Start your business, be messy. Don't be perfect. It doesn't help you. It doesn't serve your audience.
And my second one was, don't be scared to Don't be scared to put a price on yourself or your products or what you do. Even if it's a blog, don't be scared to ask people to support you. I mean, how are you gonna? How does the world work if it's not via supporting each other? And if someone gets value from what you offer, then why shouldn't they support you? They'd be happy to.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say something about money, but
the inner critic instead.
Yeah, but I know, but yeah. So my inner bitch, my inner critic, or yours, write it out there, but get a support system, get a friend, get somebody who really supports you and can debunk that bitch. Put that bitch down. So don't let fear hold you back, like all your limiting beliefs about yourself, because they are not true. It's just all up there. It's just ending up to be the feeling of not being good enough, and that's not true either.
You are good enough.
Note to self.
Note to self. You are good enough. And the final big one: get started now. Don't wait. Doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help you. Doesn't help.
Oh, and it's. Can I say this one?
Oh, yes, you can.
I think I love this one, but it's like it's so mean that you are holding back your talents because there's somebody out there that needs you, and because you are not getting starting today, they are suffering one more day.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Finally,
what?
If you have any questions that you want us to talk about in the podcast, write them in the comments. Send us a private message.
Go nuts.
Go nuts. Call us. Love to talk. Book us in for a Zoom call. And and if you want proper coaching, go to exploringhappiness.com. Exploring-happiness.com. And go on the coaching site and book in a session. Is there anything else? No.
Have a beautiful day, I think.
Have a beautiful day, lovelies.
Really? No, it was awesome being here, and I love this.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
So, ciao for now, brown cows.
Oh no.